Most people believe they're getting a great deal when something is free. Free email, free social media, free navigation, free entertainment. No money leaves the account, no bill arrives, no receipt appears, so it feels harmless. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're not paying for the product, you are not the customer. You're the resource. Welcome to Money Science AR. Today, we're talking about the hidden costs of free services and why your data, attention, and behavior have quietly become one of the most valuable currencies in the modern economy. This isn't a tech rant. It's not fear-based, and it's not about quitting the internet. It's about understanding how free actually works and how it affects your money, your decisions, and your long-term financial stability. Let's start with a simple question. How can massive companies offer services to millions of people for free and still make billions? The answer is not generosity, it's extraction, but not the kind you're used to. Instead of extracting money directly, these platforms extract data, attention, behavior patterns, and then they sell access to influence. That's the real business model. Here's where most people misunderstand the situation. They think data means name, email, birthday. But that's not the valuable part. The valuable data is behavioral, what you pause on, what you scroll past, what makes you react, what you hesitate before clicking, what time of day you're most vulnerable. That behavioral map is incredibly powerful because behavior predicts spending, and spending is where money moves. Now here's the important part. This extraction doesn't feel like loss. There's no pain signal, no checkout screen, no declining balance, which makes it more dangerous, not less. Humans are wired to notice immediate costs. Invisible costs slide right past us. That's why free services feel safe. But over time, these systems shape what you see, what you think is normal, what feels urgent, what feels missing, and that shapes financial behavior. Let's talk about attention. Attention is finite. Every minute spent scrolling is a minute not spent resting, planning, or reflecting. But that's not the main issue. The issue is how attention is guided. Free platforms don't just host content. They optimize for engagement. Engagement means emotional reactions, comparison, urgency, desire, anxiety. Calm people don't scroll as long, so calm isn't profitable. This creates a subtle pressure toward emotional states that keep you engaged, and emotional states are expensive. Anxious people spend differently. Stressed people seek relief. Tired people choose convenience. None of that shows up as a line item on a budget, but it shows up in outcomes. This is where free starts to affect money without looking like money. Now let's talk about normalization. When you see curated lifestyles constantly, your baseline shifts. What once felt optional starts to feel necessary. Upgrades feel reasonable. Subscriptions feel small. Convenience feels justified. None of these choices are irrational on their own, but together they raise fixed costs. And fixed costs are what make people financially fragile. So the hidden cost of free services isn't that they steal your money directly. It's that they shape your sense of normal, and normal determines spending. Another hidden cost is distraction. Constant stimulation reduces patience. Reduced patience makes long-term thinking harder. Long-term thinking is essential for saving, investing, planning, avoiding debt. When attention is fragmented, people default to short-term decisions. Again, not because they're irresponsible, because the environment rewards immediacy. Now let's talk about data monetization more concretely. Companies don't just sell ads, they sell precision. The ability to reach the right person at the right moment in the right emotional state. That precision makes marketing far more effective, which means your future spending is being influenced quietly, not forced, not controlled, just nudged over and over. Small nudges add up. Now here's the uncomfortable part. Most people think they can just ignore ads, but the system doesn't rely on conscious awareness. It relies on exposure frequency. Repeated exposure changes familiarity. Familiarity reduces resistance. Reduced resistance increases action. This isn't a conspiracy, it's behavioral science, and it works even when people know it exists. That's what makes it powerful. Another hidden cost is data permanence. Money spent is gone. Data shared is not. Your behavior history doesn't reset. It compounds. Which means predictions about you become more accurate over time. And the more accurate the prediction, the easier it is to influence outcomes. That influence affects spending voting credit offers insurance pricing financial opportunities. Not all at once, not always obviously, but consistently. This is why data has become currency, because it unlocks future value. Now let's talk about the psychological toll. Living in an environment designed for constant engagement increases stress. Stress reduces decision quality. Reduced decision quality increases financial mistakes. This creates a feedback loop. Stress, poor decisions, more stress. And again, no receipt is printed. This is why free services often feel harmless until you zoom out. Another important point. Free services often externalize costs. The company doesn't pay for your distraction, your anxiety, your comparison, your impulse spending. You do, not immediately, not clearly, but over time. Now here's where nuance matters. This video is not saying, don't use technology, don't use social media, don't enjoy free services. That's unrealistic and unnecessary. The issue is unconscious use. When people don't understand the exchange, they can't set boundaries. Calm money thinking requires awareness. Awareness doesn't mean paranoia. It means intentionality. Another hidden cost is erosion of boredom. Boredom used to be a planning space, a thinking space. Now boredom is eliminated instantly, which means reflection disappears. Reflection is where long-term goals form. Without reflection, people drift. Drift is expensive. Now think about how this connects to money stress. People often feel behind without knowing why. They earn, they budget, they try, but they feel pressured. Part of that pressure comes from environments designed to constantly show what you don't have. Scarcity messaging drives engagement, but scarcity thinking drives poor financial outcomes. This isn't accidental. Scarcity keeps attention locked. Locked attention is monetizable. Now let's talk about consent. Most people technically consent to data collection, but consent buried in complexity is not meaningful consent. When understanding requires expertise, the system benefits from confusion. Confusion favors the extractor. Clarity favors the user. That's why explaining this matters. Now zoom out. Free services change the economy, but they also change psychology. They turned attention into inventory, behavior into product, and time into revenue. Money didn't disappear, it just moved indirectly. That's the key insight. The cost exists, it's just delayed, distributed, and disguised. This is why these systems feel hard to resist. They don't attack, they surround. So how should people think about this? Not with fear, with boundaries. Calm money thinking asks, what am I giving in exchange? Is the trade worth it for me? Where does this increase pressure? Where does it reduce clarity? You don't need to quit everything. You need to regain authorship. That means curating inputs, limiting exposure, reducing emotional triggers, protecting attention like a resource. Because attention drives behavior, and behavior drives money. Here's the quiet truth. Many modern money problems don't start with spending, they start with influence. Understanding that is power, not to fight the system, but to stop being unaware of it. If this video made you slightly uncomfortable, that's intentional. Discomfort signals learning, not panic, just clarity. The goal isn't to escape the modern economy. I'll see you in the next video on Money Science AR.